Hello everyone, welcome to yet another update on the MBA admissions process for the 2026-27 intake. This is the update from the IIMA PGPX 2026 intake. There are some very interesting and important updates about the IIMA PGPX admissions process this time. This is what I'm sharing with you over here in this video today. First of all, a brief overview of what the IIMA PGPX program is. It is a one-year full-time MBA which is offered by IIM Ahmedabad, and the duration of this program is from April 2026 up till March 27. Now let's come to the eligibility requirements for the IIMA PGPX 2026 intake. The first is that you need to have a bachelor's degree or equivalent and ensure that you have a minimum of 15 years of formal education either in the 10 plus 2 plus 3 format or in the 10 plus 2 plus 4 degree format. You need to have a minimum of 4 years of full-time work experience to apply to the IIM Ahmedabad PGPX program, and the cutoff date for this 4 years of work experience is 31st March 2026. Another part of the IIM Ahmedabad eligibility is the minimum age requirement. So you need to have a minimum age of 25 years as on 31st March 2026. So in case you are born on or before 31st March 2001, then you will be eligible to apply to this program. And in addition to that, you need to have a valid GMAT or a GRE score. Only the test center scores are accepted for the IIM Ahmedabad PGPX admissions process. The online test scores or the at-home test scores, either for the GMAT or the GRE, are not accepted for IIMA PGPX admissions process. So this is the update in terms of the IIMA eligibility. Let's look deeper into the IIMA PGPX test score requirements. What about the test validity? So your test validity for round 1 applications. So the test must be taken on or after September 8th, 2020. And for the round 2 admissions, the test must be taken on or after November 24th, 2020. So make sure that your test dates which you are submitting to the for the test scores that you are submitting to IIMA PGPX should be valid as on that particular round. Applicants can apply only in one round per admission cycle, and this time there are only 2 rounds of admission. There are no 3 rounds of admissions process as the other previous year. So this is something new this time. You will have only 2 rounds of admission cycle for the IIMA PGPX admissions this year. Test scores will not be acceptable for the IIMA PGPX admissions process. Let's look at the selection process for the IIMA PGPX. So for the IIMA PGPX selection process, you need to first submit an online application with your valid GMAT or GRE scores through the official portal. Post that, there is an initial shortlisting and you get a window of submission of your essays. That is a time bound window where you need to submit your resume and your essays. Once you submit that, you will get the interview invite and you will have to go ahead with the interview with the IIMA faculty. The IIM Ahmedabad PGPX interviews are conducted by the IIMA faculty at either the designated cities, which will be announced shortly, or on campus. And based on all of this, the final selection is done, and then you get the admission status for the IIMA PGPX program. So for the IIMA PGPX shortlisting and the application process, you need to submit the online application along with your work experience, your professional details, your transcript. So make sure that you are already collecting your work experience related documentation, and along with that, your documentation for your transcripts. In case you don't have any transcripts with you right now, or in case you need to go back to your employers for any particular documentation with respect to your work experience, please do collect that now. Now is the time to start that particular process. Once you have submitted the online application, then you go through an initial evaluation based on your academic profile, your work experience, career trajectory, things that you have done in your extracurriculars as well. And on the basis of that, you receive a shortlist. Once you receive the shortlist, you will get 2 to 3 days. I'll just share the whole timeline for the round 1 and round 2 so you can plan accordingly. You'll get 2 to 3 days to submit your essays, and post that you need to go in for the interview on the designated location. Similarly, on the IIMA PGPX stage 2, which is so there are 2 stages of the IIMA PGPX application process. The first stage is application and shortlisting. Up till the time that you get the initial shortlist and you submit your time bound essays as well as your resume. Now, coming to the interview and the final selection, which is the second stage. So, in terms of the second stage, it will be totally dependent on the interview performance. So, you will have face to face interviews with the IIMA faculty at designated locations. And what will they be looking for in the IIMA PGPX interviews? What all is important is your academic readiness for the program. You need to have a very good clarity of what you're getting into in terms of your career goals and your plans post MBA. And the interviewers will also be taking up a clear assessment of your achievements in your career as well as your extracurriculars. Plus, they will evaluate your leadership experience and potential to sit in the IIMA PGPX class. So, this is the IIMA PGPX stage 2 process, which is the interview and the final selection. What is it that IIMA PGPX is looking for in the applicants? When you are submitting your application to any business school, it is very important for you to understand what the schools are looking for. In terms of IIMA PGPX, the following are important. First is your leadership potential. You should be able to demonstrate your ability to lead and influence. Your communication skills in terms of your verbal as well as written communication are very, very important. Then comes your professional accomplishments and growth. So, what has been your career growth till date? What have been your professional accomplishments? And what is your growth story? This is going to be an important part of your evaluation. For the 1 year MBA programs, goal clarity is a very important criteria. So, you need to be very clear of what your goals are like if you are applying to the MBA program, especially the IIMA PGPX program, so that you are able to have a clear trajectory of where this program will take you. Apart from that, your preparedness for the rigorous academic work that IIMA was looking for in terms of the curriculum requirements for the IIMA PGPX is also going to be evaluated throughout the application process. So these are the criteria that are important for the IIMA PGPX applicants and aspirants. So make sure that you are translating all of these very impactfully in your application. Now, coming to the IIMA PGPX application timelines, this time there are only 2 rounds of application, and the portal will open on 7th of July 2025 for the round 1 application cycle. The last date or the deadline for IIMA PGPX for the round 1 applications is 8th of September 2025. You can expect to receive the shortlists on 15 September, following which you get the 2 days or 3 days window to submit your essays. And then the interviews will be conducted in October, and you will get the final results for the round 1 for IIMA PGPX on 31st October 2025. So, this is how the timeline is going to be when you're applying to round 1 of the IIMA PGPX program. And make sure that you are looking at each of these deadlines and preparing and planning your application preparation as well as your interview preparation backwards. Here's a tentative timeline for the round 2 applications as well. In terms of the round 2 applications, the portal will open on 22nd September 2025. The last date to apply, that is the application deadline for IIMA PGPX round 2, is going to be 24th of November 2025. The shortlist announcement is expected on 5th December, and the essay or the resume submission window will be 5th to 7th December. So you need to submit all of this information by 7th of December 2025, and the interviews will be conducted from December up till January. So the exact dates will be given out by the school closer to the deadlines, closer to the application cycle, and the final results can be expected till 20th of January 2026. So if you're someone who's planning multiple applications, these deadlines will be important for you to plan which round you want to apply to, and also how you want to phase out and prepare your applications as well as your interviews. What are the application requirements in terms of the documentation that you will need? So there is an application form that you need to submit along with your personal and professional details. So there will be a certain set of documentation which will be required along with that in terms of your transcripts and your professional profile, your GMAT or your GRE score. Then you will need your detailed resume that needs to be submitted with the shortlisting. That is the phase 1 of the admissions process for IIMA PGPX. And then you will have those time bound essay window where you need to submit the essays. Only the shortlisted candidates have to do that. So once you're shortlisted, your portal will populate the essay topics and you have to submit those essays within that window. So if you want to build a timeline of how the things are, this is how it will look in terms of the round 1 and round 2 submissions. The round 1 portal for IIMA PGPX submission will open on 7th of July, and round 1 application deadline is 8th of September 2025. The shortlist announcement is expected on 15th September. You have the window to submit your essays from 15th up till 17th September. And then the interviews go on in October, and final results are going to be announced on 31st of October 2025. So this is the round 1 of IIMA PGPX application cycle for the 26 intake, and round 2 goes as follows. The portal will open on 22nd September, and the deadline is 24th of November 2025 for round 2 IIMA PGPX. Then the shortlist announcement on 5th of December. Essay and resume submission needs to be completed by 7th December, and the round 2 interviews are expected from December 25 up till Jan 26, and the final results you can expect them on 20th of January 2026. So guys, this was the update on in terms of the IIMA PGPX requirements for this year. Things to keep a note of is there are only 2 rounds of admission cycle this time. So in case you're preparing for the GMAT and you are planning for round 3 submissions, please make sure that you are keeping your timelines in the same manner. So people who are still working on the GMAT scores, you need to take care of these deadlines so that you have your GMAT scores by the time or by the deadline that you want to apply to. In case you want any help with your application as well as your interviews, get in touch with us. We'll be happy to help you. And do like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel for more updates. There are new deadlines which are going to come in every day, and we'll make sure that we are sharing the latest MBA updates with you at GOALisB.